All right, ladies and gentlemen, a quorum is present. We are going to get this hearing underway. Our author is free to come to the desk with her co-authors. And we're going to ask Madam Secretary to please call the roll and establish quorum.
Gatto.
Here.
Patterson.
Here.
Shajian. Bonilla. Burke. Dowley. Eggman. Here. Garcia. Here. Hadley. Here. Hernandez. Obernolte. Here. Quirk.
Here.
Santiago. Ting. Williams.
I've reworked this.
All right.
Too much time. I don't know.
All right, a quorum is present.
I
We're going to get
well.
going with our one item on the agenda. That item is Senate Bill 380. For those of you in the audience who are a little bit unfamiliar with our legislative practices, the Assembly traditionally hears Senate bills in the month of July and August. We have expedited the hearing of this bill because of the consensus that the subject matter was so important that it could not wait. So we moved up this bill from being heard, typically it would be heard in July or August. We're moving it up to be heard now in February because we believe the subject matter is quite important. So with that, Senator Pavley, welcome, and the floor is yours.
Very much, Chair Gatto, and thank you for taking this out of your normal schedule. And it is an urgency item because residents are literally moving back in their homes this week, and they want to know if their neighborhoods will be safe. So let me also start off by thanking the committee staff. My staff's enjoying working with them, and we'll take the clarifying amendments listed in the analysis. About 4 months ago, October 23rd, a significant natural gas leak was discovered from a well at SoCal Gas's Aliso Field, adjacent to Porter Ranch and Northridge and Chatsworth, down in my district. That's my new Senate district. Most of you have seen videos of the leak. It looked like a volcano for months, spewing methane into the air, laced with odorants and benzene and other things. The well that leaked was an older well, predating 1954. They were injecting gas into this huge reservoir that holds 86 billion cubic feet of gas, one of the largest natural gas storage reservoirs west of the United States, west of the Mississippi River. And this particular well, perhaps because it was old, and perhaps because they were injecting gas not only doing the tubular casing, but also the 7-inch diameter well casing, and perhaps because it was October and they had filled up this reservoir so the pressure was extremely high, it cracked and leaked. Everyone seemed to try to put out the leak. In October and in November and December, finally a second relief well was drilled, and it wasn't until last week that this particular well, SS-25, they've numbered them, we know them all personally now, that it was capped. It'll no longer be used to inject natural gas into this reservoir. There are 115 wells out there, and about 18 of them are this kind of vintage, and they're a great concern to the residents and those of us who represent the Porter Ranch area. Unfortunately, emergencies like these where industrial emissions harm public health or present a risk to public health are too common in many communities. Just in the LA area alone, in the last month, we're hearing more and more about Exide, and kudos Assemblymember Garcia for helping lead the charge on that. It's unacceptable to have lead in people's soils and homes. Land use planning is part of the challenge that we all face, and how we put industrial facilities and energy facilities. Should they be in close proximity to homes and schools? Probably not. LA Times yesterday in Wilmington, 540 wells were approved by the LA City Council in 2005, adjacent to homes, and residents now want some attention because they too are having health impacts. So we need to all be collectively more thoughtful, but also there is a real role and an opportunity for the legislature to provide more oversight over agencies, not less. How are we going to have a secure energy future if we don't do a better job of ensuring public safety to nearby homeowners as well as keeping energy facilities as part of our energy future. I get that balance, and that's what this bill is about. Despite numerous attempts to stop the leak, it was only brought under control. We're concerned, as residents are moving home this week, they're asking me, I'm sure they're asking Assemblymember Wilk and Senator Huff, is it safe? How do I know this won't happen again? So this bill, what it simply does is extends a moratorium that DOGGR, the Division of Oil and Gas and Geothermal Resources, had put into place back in December. They had a voluntary agreement with SoCal Gas to inject no more gas in the reservoir by the end of November, and then a permanent agreement. It's consistent with the governor's state of emergency or proclamation, no more gas in the reservoir. And what that did by reducing the pressure, that leak that was spewing tons of methane into the air reduced the amount of leakage dramatically. So by the end, the amount of leak had reduced by 75%. So we're concerned about how much gas to refill the reservoir with, and we want to make sure that those wells, the other wells that are out there, are checked and inspected. I've spent the time looking at DOGGR's 6-stage plan and 2 stages that they go in. I look forward to working with them to do that. We're working with the administration on making sure that the language is right that works for them. We're concerned, and just like all of you, on energy reliability. We're working with the PUC. I met today with Cal ISO. I think we can do both, protect the residents there, and ensure energy reliability. I get this is a fine line, but we need to do this. I think SoCal Gas has a lot to lose if we don't insist on checking those other wells. Another leaking well, if 2/3 of the residents already would say shut it down now, and there's 23 law firms involved in class action suits, they're going to face an even worse scenario if we don't do what I think the legislature should be doing, is providing proper oversight. I think this is a measured item and a valid response to real concerns by real people. And I have with me today 2 of my co-authors or joint authors on this particular bill, Senator Huff and Assemblymember Wilk. Scott, would you like, or however you? Okay.
Well, we might not. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As principal
It's their house, so we'll do whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
We love the assembly, just for the.
That might be, never mind.
No, never mind. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, members, thank you for this opportunity to come and present this bill. As principal co-author, I urge you to approve this urgency measure for the residents of Porter Ranch and neighboring communities that desperately need reassurance that the remaining natural gas wells are safe following this historic gas leak. As you heard, this measures a moratorium on any new injections of natural gas and use of vintage wells for withdrawal at the Aliso Canyon Storage Facility until a determination has been made by DOGGR, or Division of Oil, Gas, and Geothermal Resources, the California Public Utilities Commission, the California Energy Commission, and outside experts that the site, specifically the old 1950s wells, do not pose a risk to public safety or health, and to consider how to minimize use of the facility while still maintaining energy reliability in the region. It's been identified that 18 of the 115 wells share similar characteristics to the one that was ruptured and must be expected. Public safety is certainly government's first priority. The unanticipated and unchecked release of methane into the air exposed a weakness in our oversight system. That's what this bill is about, a systematic, transparent approach to energy grid stability with public safety as our first priority. We're thankful that the safety measures in place at Aliso Canyon have resulted in no loss of lives, but we are concerned with the reported headaches and other health issues reported by many nearby residents, the disruption of their life. And as they're moving back, they have nagging questions. Is my neighborhood safe? What about this oily residue? Are there any long-term risks to my family's health? Is something like this likely to happen again? So that's where we come in, and the legislature must now act to ensure the Aliso Canyon storage facility is safe for residents. Porter Ranch residents and all Californians must be assured that this problem won't happen again in this or other similar fields. That's what this bill seeks to do. There are other bills, SB 887, 888, and 1383, to address other collateral issues, but our first order of business must be to stop new injection until we know it's safe and ensure California's energy grid stability. Thank you, and I urge your aye vote.
Mr. Wilk, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I want to thank you and the committee for, again, having this early hearing. And then I also want to thank you for the excellent oversight hearing that you conducted down in the district. You got many kudos from my constituents, because we learned more from that hearing than the 6 other hearings that have been held down there. So I want to thank you for your leadership on this issue. I think Senator Pavley laid it out very well. So I'm just going to touch on a couple things. Going into this, I did not know this, but there are no federal regulations as it comes to this, and the state regulations are clearly too lax. This particular well that blew was supposed to have a safety valve on it. It was allegedly installed in 1979. The gas company didn't install it, and the state regulators never discovered that. When the governor had his cabinet come down and do a town hall at Shepherd of the Hills Church with 1,300 concerned citizens, frankly, I was
On a Friday night.
on a Friday night, 1,300. I was underwhelmed by the response. Talking to constituents afterwards, the best case scenario was SoCal Gas and state regulators are incompetent. That was the best case. Worst case is SoCal Gas and state regulators are in cahoots together to cover it up. Neither of those are acceptable. We have a constitutional duty for oversight. I believe Senator Pavley's done a fantastic job with this. In terms, I believe it's very measured, and sure, we need a few tweaks moving forward, but I think she is open to doing that. Again, 15,000 people out of 30,000 residents were forced from their homes, evacuated, and left, and now they want to come back, but they want to come back to safe homes. And I will tell you, in my closes, when we had that hearing, I was really concerned because people were angry, and I stood up and I gave my personal cell phone number to 1,300 people. I had 3 texts before I got back to my seat. Saturday morning at 6:45, my phone started ringing, and it's never stopped. And it kind of slowed down last week, but now that people are moving back, I had 6 emails yesterday, and it's really important, and people are scared and they're concerned. I just remember one gentleman, he'd called me on a Sunday afternoon. I was out of pocket. It was in Mr. Chajian's district. I got back that night. It was too late to call. I called him first thing in the morning. He started crying. He said, "I've been trying to get, relief from the gas company for 6 weeks. They won't return my calls. My wife passed away 2 years ago. I have 3 children. The eldest has autism, and my other one, and my middle child is bleeding out of her nose, and I need to move, and no one will help me." And so we were able, again, working with the gas company to make that happen. So we all appreciate reliability, and we're all committed to making sure that happens. We understand the necessity of this facility, but we can't do it at the expense of people's lives and health. So again, thank you for having us and appreciate your consideration.
Thank you very much. So now let's go to witnesses and support. Or were those your witnesses and
Maybe
support?
Councilmember Englander, Paula Gresham, and Tim O'Connor.
Sure. Okay. So just for those of you who might not be familiar with the way that the legislature does stuff, we typically have witnesses come testify. You guys are welcome to come up to the desk and make your statements. We ask that you're succinct and not repeat anything. And then we go to public comment and support. And after that, we'll go to witnesses in opposition and public comment in opposition. So welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, Councilman Englander, you can start. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and I want to thank the committee and the chairman. Truly appreciate it. I'm here today to testify on behalf of the support of SB 380. The City of Los Angeles resolution in support of this as well was passed unanimously. I wanted to let you all know that you should have, for the record, that in your file, as well as a letter from our mayor, Eric Garcetti, in support of this. We support this bill for the following reasons. The well failure at Aliso Canyon Storage Facility caused an unprecedented amount of harm to the surrounding communities, and in fact was the largest methane leak in U.S. history. The human toll exceeded and extended to respiratory, gastrointestinal, neurological illness that caused the mass evacuation. Actually, the numbers are roughly over 20,000 individuals. This leak caused the closure and relocation of 2 community schools with nearly 2,000 children. The schools remain closed to this day. We saw countless businesses harmed by the relocation of their local customer base, not to mention that this happened during what should have been the busy season during the holidays. This disaster has begun to show a reduction in property values, and these are people's nest egg. This is their retirement. This is their children's college fund. It has caused financial harm as well to the City of Los Angeles for lost revenues related to reduced city business tax, funds needed to hire local firefighters, police officers, and provide basic city services. It has caused untold harm to the state's climate change goals, for which the state will likely never be reimbursed, and for which our utility ratepayers will be the ultimate wronged party. I'm here today because no community should have to suffer those that in what we've gone through in the proximity of those the Aliso Canyon Storage Facility have. If these facilities cannot be operated safely in communities, they should not be. It's becoming clear to me that the regulation needs to be updated to prevent future catastrophes from happening again. And that begins with enhanced inspection and certification requirements, as this bill calls for. The opposition's energy reliability arguments are addressed responsibly and repeatedly in the bill language. Let me be clear, opponents of this bill are saying one thing, that profits trump public safety, and it is never an acceptable trade-off. In fact, their arguments don't make any sense. If, or should I say when, the next well actually fails, the entire facility will be taken offline yet again for another 3, 4, possibly 5 months, which would pose an even greater risk to the system's reliability. We urge you to support this, and thank you for your consideration. And thank you to the authors and all the work that they've done on this as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Next witness.
Hi, my name is Paula Creation. I'm president of the Porter Ranch Neighborhood Council and chair of the Porter Ranch Community Action Committee. I can. Thank you. Is that better?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. More than 15,000 people have been forced out of their homes due to mercaptans permeating the air and its significant effects on their bodies, and the fear of the unknown long-term health effects to them and their children. Some residents looking to move out permanently, as their belief that this community can never be safe again has been completely eroded, and this is a devastating blow to this tight-knit community. The housing market has taken a huge hit, some estimate as much as 25 to 35%. Short-term and long-term impacts to our families' financial stability is a challenge that we may not be able to overcome unless this site can be made safe to live next to. Small businesses in the community have been drastically affected as their regular customers, having been relocated or no longer in the community. They're having difficulty holding on during the crisis and the ongoing recovery. Many of our children are fearful. They keep hearing conversations regarding the leak and its impact on their immediate and long-term health as parents grapple with decisions to make their family safe. Children have been displaced and our schools have been relocated, and we want our kids back in the community, but not unless they can be safe. We understand that evaluating the future of this site and its important role in the energy reliability will take some time, but we feel the passage of this bill is the most prudent measure to energy reliability, as getting this site secure, safe, and all of the wells viable will mean energy reliability for the long term. But none of this can distract us from the fact that this site must be made safe right now for the residents who live so close to the facility, and in a lasting way, that the community will have assurances that this will not happen again. Your help approving this legislation for our community will give us the first real steps to ensuring the safety of this site and steps toward removing the stain of this disaster and restoring our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next witness.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, distinguished committee members. My name is Tim O'Connor. I'm the director of the Oil and Gas Program in California at the Environmental Defense Fund. The Aliso Canyon event has opened up the eyes to the people of California and really across the nation to the risks associated with natural gas storage. From public health and safety impacts to climate change pollution, the operations of natural gas storage are fraught with risks that need to be managed by rigorous attention to well integrity, maintenance, and proper operations. As stated by the Secretary of the Department of Energy when he visited the site, the risks at Aliso Canyon are not just a problem in California, but rather are indicative of a problem we have to study more generally across the country. Frankly, he said, gas storage fields need a fresh look in terms of some of the regulatory requirements, and that's a direct quote. And this new direction on gas storage oversight is, of course, where California is going. With new regulations enacted at Dogger, a new process to review underground injection control, and thorough testing regimes required at Aliso and other storage sites across the state. SB 380 fits directly within this framework. But the conversation you're going to hear today speaks also to a larger issue made incredibly clear by this crisis. The issue is that there aren't enough resources on the grid to simultaneously manage the large daily swings in electricity demand and swings in renewable energy output. Until we get the diversity and volume of clean energy resources on the grid that can fulfill this role in a fast-acting manner, the role that currently natural gas provides, the system will need to be balanced by natural gas. And of course, we're here today, and this reliability issue has become a rallying cry for utilities across the state. And again, of course, this comes as no surprise. The codependence between gas and renewables effectively gives utilities a virtually endless justification for sites like Aliso Canyon and their 3 other storage fields in Southern California. What's more, Southern California Gas Company and other companies have actively latched onto renewables as a new growth opportunity, supporting solar and wind as they hold monopoly power over the regional pipeline and gas storage markets. As the most recent biannual gas report in California shows, the gas utilities, quote, see the intermittent nature of renewable generation as likely to cause the electric system to rely more heavily on natural gas-fired generation. And with higher fluctuations in gas usage in the future, the gas system will be needed to be able to accommodate those operations, meaning more of a role for gas storage. With rising penetration of intermittent renewables in California through the state's recently mandated 50% RPS, and as long as competing solutions are locked out of the market, as they are today, gas utilities will remain in the driver's seat. People argue we need Aliso because we need the gas. Then we lock in more gas and need Aliso-type storage to balance it because there aren't enough pipelines, and on and on and on, and you can see what the next argument is, more pipelines for California. That's not what we need. As far as the immediate demand for the facility, we're aware of the process underway that is evaluating the precise need for reliability that Aliso fills in the near term. Sitting before you today, I cannot prejudge the outcome of that process, but I can say we look forward to participating in it, and I can say that we do not support opening up Aliso until it is made safe, and that is the point of this bill. We look forward to seeing the actions of the gas company, the Public Utilities Commission, and this legislature to ensure that Southern California experiences maximum deployment of resources that can fulfill the same role that's currently served by fast-ramping natural gas. Because if there isn't attention and investment there, the outcome of the reliability studies will be a predetermined destiny. How California handles this challenge will have broad implications as rapid renewable energy growth continues. Standards that allow more kinds of companies to get paid for providing the types of services that fast-ramping natural gas currently provides is a huge opportunity, and reducing the need for gas combustion and gas storage by allowing new alternatives to compete is part of the solution. We respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to go to public comment and support. If you're here to talk in favor of the bill, please make an orderly line right there at the microphone, and our sergeants will guide you if needed. And when you come up, feel free to state your name, where you're from, and your position. Go ahead.
My name is Gabriel Callan. I'm a resident of Porter Ranch, and I'm in support of SB 380. My family is sick, my kids are sick, and we want to actually feel a little safer by passing 380 and see how it goes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Donna Seitz, representing the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, in strong support. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jared DeGonia. I serve as the San Fernando Valley Field Deputy and the Legislative Affairs Deputy for Supervisor Michael D. Antonovich, 5th District, LA County Board of Supervisors, the maker of the motion that the board adopted in support of SB 380. We ask for your aye vote for the bill as for the people of Porter Ranch.
Mr. Chair and members, Jenna Price on behalf of the California League of Conservation Voters and the California Environmental Justice Alliance today. We're in strong support of the bill. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jennifer Milbauer. I'm a resident of Chatsworth. We live on the border of Porter Ranch and Chatsworth, and my family and my community have been severely impacted by the gas leak. And I'm here today to plead with you as a mother of a 6-year-old boy who has special needs, and on behalf of the parents and the communities affected by the toxic gas that plumed out of the gas company's storage facility for over 112 days, please pass Senate Bill 380. This bill is vital to ensure that our children have a safe environment in which to grow and thrive, and the gas company needs to be held accountable to take such measures that will guarantee that this never happens again. And without SB 380, it is clear that the gas company will not perform the steps necessary to protect our community. And in my opinion, it is not a matter of if another leak of this magnitude will occur, but rather when, unless SB 380 is passed. Thank you for your time.
Eddie Moreno on behalf of the Sierra Club California in support.
Bill Alio, Environmental Working Group in support. Thank you.
Jason Feifel, California Public Interest Research Group in strong support.
Leisha Smith with the South Coast Air Quality Management District in strong support.
My name is Christina Zikovich. I am a mother raising my daughter in Chatsworth, California, which neighbors Porter Ranch. I'm also a business owner in Chatsworth, and I'm here today to voice my support for SB 380. It is amazing to me that the gas company who preaches that they always put safety first would oppose this bill. They should be supporting this bill, which will allow them to prove to the community that the facility is safe. It will allow them to regain the trust of the community that they have already lost. Unfortunately, this has never been their mindset, as we are now learning more each day about the decisions they have made, which put profit over safety. A safe company would not have removed the safety valves. A safe company would not withdraw from a pipe's casing, knowing that if it cracked, it was directly contaminating the soil and water supply. A safe company would fix or retire an old well, not abuse it to its greatest capacity. Instead of being a good neighbor to the community, it's been a silent predator and abused all of us: babies, children, parents, elderly, and also the disabled. We cannot trust SoCalGas to do the right thing. We must have assurances provided by this bill. The Senate floor has already done their part and passed this bill 40-0. The spotlight is now on all of you. We are watching and commenting on social media. Please give us a reason to be proud of our elected officials. Please protect us, and please pass SB 380.
Hi, my name is Kyoko Hibino. I am the resident of Porter Ranch. I fly from here, from Porter Ranch, to support this bill. I have been sick for 4 months, and I have been relocated, and I am terrified. I'm very terrified to go home, my own home, and see myself nosebleed again and sick again. I'm very terrified. So please support this bill for the community, so we can go home safe. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Will Barrett with the American Lung Association in California, also in strong support.
Leilani Aguinaldo-Yee on behalf of the Los Angeles Unified School District in support.
Good afternoon. My name is Keith Nakatani with Clean Water Action in strong support. If the committee doesn't know, a former Dogger official said that there currently are no regulations in place that could have prevented these risky practices that led to the blowout. As Senator Pavley described, there's the main tube that's 3 inches wide where the gas was being passed, and around that is a casing, 7 inches. Around the casing, there is nothing to protect from gas escaping. And yet, the company, by its own admission, said the infrastructure is so old there that there is corrosion in the wells and there have been repeated leaks. So even before the blowout, Aliso Canyon wells were a significant source of emissions. And I read an article that said it was not only after the big blowout, but before that, residents were suffering these problems of nosebleeds and nausea and headaches. Stepping back in the larger perspective, according to a Harvard study, the U.S. could be responsible for 30 to 60% of the global growth in human-caused atmospheric methane emissions since 2002 because of a 30% spike in methane emissions across the country. So this isn't just about Aliso Canyon. This is likely a huge problem in other old and decaying facilities. SB 380 will prevent a similar disaster from happening at Aliso Canyon and will buy time to fix the larger problem of weak regulations that have allowed this disaster to happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Environment California, strong support.
Jim Lindberg, on behalf of the Friends Committee on Legislation of California, we're in strong support. Thanks.
Sylvia Solis Shaw on behalf of the Office of City of Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti. We are in strong support of the bill. We believe that this bill ensures the health and safety of the residents of the city, and we also believe that it will be implemented in ways that ensure electrical reliability. So we ask for your support. Thank you.
Alex Nagy, SoCal organizer with Food and Water Watch, and we're in strong support. This bill is a common sense measure that will help hold the gas company accountable to necessary inspections and safety standards so that residents may regain a sense of security and safety as they move back into their homes. Thank you.
Walker Foley, the Californians Against Fracking Coalition. We are in strong support of SB 380. Thank you.
Mark Morris, Vice President, Save Porter Ranch, Board Member, Valley Interfaith Council, and we support this very sensible and ethical bill. Thank you.